Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I want to give you my 2-month marathon training update. So I have been running for 2 months and boy have things changed. So I want to give you an overview of that as well as share with you the lessons and things that I've learned along the way because I've been surprised by what I've learned. For me to be able to go from not being able to run a mile straight without walking to be able to run, I think it's 16 miles now, is nothing short of a miracle for me. Like, that is a big thing because up until this point of training, I had maybe run 6 miles and there was a lot of walking involved. So I had never run more than a few miles, and to be like putting down these distances for me is incredible. And my point by that is, if I can do it, you can do it. But I'm not going to lie, running really sucked at the beginning of training, as it always does when you're first getting back into something. It was horrible. Like, I felt awful during the runs, I felt awful after the runs. But now, even though it's still challenging at times, more often than not, like, I just feel pure bliss while I run. And even if my body hurts, even if my mind hurts, I just feel this, I feel good. Like I said, I have a random list of things that I've learned or things that I have changed and I think have impacted it. I want to share it with you because they're just really random. So last month I read a book called Eat and Run by Scott Jurek. Am I pronouncing that right? Anyways, he's an ultra marathoner and he's also vegan. And I read it and I really enjoyed it. And while I don't know if I'm going to be running any ultra marathons anytime soon, I think some of the lessons he had in there were really beneficial. And the one thing, like, my biggest takeaway from that book is to take shorter steps when you're running uphill. Running uphill, especially on long runs, it's awful. But what he talked about was you should have the same cadence, which is how many steps per minute you're taking, regardless of whether you're going uphill or downhill. So if you're just running normal, like, you get into your rhythm. But then if you're going up, you want to shorten your steps so you're still keeping the same rhythm, keeping the same cadence going up. And then if you're going downhill, you want to lengthen out your strides so you're still doing the same cadence because you're going to go faster downhill. So you want your feet to hit at the same time. And sometimes that means taking shorter steps and sometimes it means taking longer steps. Take shorter steps going uphill. Like, I say that to myself when I'm running. I'm like, shorter steps, and it makes a world of difference. The second thing I learned was how to check in with my body. When I first started running, like, I just felt awful all the time. Like, my lungs hurt, my legs hurt, my mind hurt, everything was awful. But now I am much better at kind of taking a moment while still running and stepping back and going, okay, check in on your body, like, what hurts? Is there anything that's actually wrong? When you feel like, oh my God, I'm dying, you know, after you've come up a hill or something, kind of just catch your breath for a second while still running and kind of do a scan of your body. And usually it's like your lungs are fine, your legs are a little like funny, but they're fine, like you're not dying, you're okay, keep moving. Another important thing is to breathe correctly. Early on in my training, I spent a whole run just focusing on making sure I was getting the right kind of deep breaths while I'm running. I really try to focus on breathing from my stomach rather than breathing from my chest, and it's a weird thing to get used to. Another thing with breathing is breathing through your nose versus breathing through your mouth. If I feel like I'm really kind of short on breath, I will make myself take deeper breaths through my nose and I'll still breathe out through my mouth. That just helps me kind of like calm down my breathing as well. The third thing is running has helped me become more present in the moment, more mindful. I have stopped listening to anything while I run. It's kind of just a phase I'm going through. And it happened because I was listening to podcasts and I was enjoying that. But then I downloaded the app, the Nike Run Club app, which is so cool. But something about hearing what my pace was, how far I'd gone, what my average pace was, like, in my ear every mile, like, really messed with my mind. And I think I did worse because I could hear it. Now I just look at runs as a time to not like meditate, but just to be with myself, to be where I am, to see what I'm looking at. And just something about that has just made me so much more mindful than I was before. I don't know about you guys, but the first mile or two of a run is the hardest for me. I always breathe heavier at the start of the run. Like, I feel like an awkward baby giraffe, like trying to find my stride, and like all of your aches and pains will kind of come back up. So I've really focused the first mile of my run on breathing properly. as well as one thing I've started to do is I take that first mile to say literally everything I'm grateful for. Like, I am grateful that my body allows me to do this. I'm grateful that I have the time that allows me to do this. I'm grateful that I have a business that I love. I'm grateful that I get to do this, that. I'm grateful for these trees. And you just kind of go on and you be ridiculous, and it just helps set the mood for the run, and it helps distract you and like get into that rhythm of the run. On longer runs, I do this weird thing where if I'm going to come back past a place, a tree or a bridge, I will like say hello to that inanimate object and, hey trees, I'll see you in a couple miles, or bridge, I'm coming for you. And maybe I'm just a weirdo, but yeah, I talk to things, and it just kind of helps me like set mini goals of, I'm coming back for you, like I'm gonna loop back around and I'm gonna be able to make it, and that sort of stuff. And I also like to mentally break up my runs into sections, like this park, that road, this part of the park, and kind of like breaking up to chunks. You're like, yeah, I just accomplished waterworks, or like, see you later, Gray's Lake. And it just helps me mentally. So when your legs are completely dead at the end of a long run and you've still got a mile or a few miles and your legs, and they just feel like dead tree trunks, I actually find that picking up the pace slightly and picking up your legs, like bring your knees up a little bit higher for just a little bit, like even a minute or even 30 seconds, helps kind of like get your body moving again and works through the pain that your legs are feeling. Another thing I've discovered with like running during the week, although I love running in the morning and I love starting my day with that, if I do a longer run in the morning, like I'm toast afterwards, and my brain does not function as well as it would if I hadn't run. So if I have a longer run, I will do it in the afternoon or the evening, and I'll give myself my morning time to work because that is when I'm most focused and productive. And so I want to give that to myself for FemmeHead. And last but not least, I have freaking abs, which is crazy. Like, that is not something I set out to do, but just running that much, I suppose, gives you abs, and I don't do sit-ups. And so I've been really shocked with how like toned my body has gotten from running, and I don't really do anything else but running. So that's cool, and that's a very, I don't know, I'm not mad about it. All right guys, that's kind of how the past 2 months of running have been going. They've been going really well. I have this month and next month to be able to get to running over 26 miles, which I totally believe I can do now. Like, I know I can do it. It's just crazy to think that I'll get that far. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.